Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. Today I've got a review on a device that you've probably seen in a couple of my videos that I've been wearing, and that's this thing here called the Oura Ring. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So the Oura Ring is a really cool device that is very helpful at measuring, well, your fitness, but predominantly I use it for measuring my recovery. So a lot of devices out there, such as the Apple Watch and Fitbits and all those different tracking devices, are very good at measuring your movement and how much you should be training and all that kind of good stuff. But actually, one of the most important things for kind of health and well-being is measuring your recovery and how well you've recovered. Because if you train a lot and you go to the gym a lot and you have a very stressful job potentially, you are always encouraging what we know called the sympathetic nervous system. And so sometimes when we are trying to achieve things all the time, we don't realise that our bodies haven't recovered very well from the day before's training or even the day before that. So some people recover very quickly, some people don't. And those things that help with our recovery are, yes, things like nutrition, but predominantly our sleep. So sleep is very important in regards to making sure that you're recovering, making sure that your muscles have got time to recover, making sure that you've got optimum hormone balance, making sure that your liver allows you to detox. It all happens during our hours of sleep. So we don't build muscle when we're at the gym, we build muscle when we are recovering and we are in deep restful sleep. And that's the key there, it's deep sleep, not just any old sleep. REM sleep or rapid eye movement sleep is important, but it's not as important as deep sleep. So this device allows me to see very clearly how well I'm sleeping. And it also gives me a score every time I wake up. So when I wake up in the morning, I get given a score and it tells me that maybe I should take it easy today, or maybe I can push myself harder, and that's based on my sleep information I've given the ring about my training schedule, if I've trained well, and also it tracks my body temperature and how well I've slept. So all those things put together, it then gives me a nice little score, which I'll show you in a moment on the app that you get with the device. So the Oura Ring, compared to other devices, measures a thing known as heart rate variability, or HRV. So if you Google HRV, you'll see a whole load of data about HRV and why it's very useful. But HRV is basically heart rate variability, and it's the variance between your heartbeats, and it's a very good indication of how healthy you are. So people generally think that the heart beats like a metronome, but actually there's small variance between each heartbeat, and the more variance that you have, the healthier you are and the better your body has recovered. So it's a really cool piece of science, and you can use that in many different ways. So traditionally, to measure HRV over the past few years, I've had to use a heart rate Bluetooth strap that I have to connect to me first thing in the morning, and then use an application on my iPhone to measure my heart rate variability, which is a bit of a pain because you've got to wet the strap, you've got to make sure that it's connected and do all that kind of stuff, and then get the application out, then sit there for 3 minutes to get a measurement, and that'll give you a HRV. The Oura Ring does that because it's constantly measuring my information that I'm giving it, and also tracking my walking and everything else, just like other devices do. But then it calculates based on all those different all that information. It then gives me my HRV, but it also gives me what's known as a readiness score. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So if I just go onto the app, so on my phone you can see that I've got an Oura Ring app in the corner there, and if I just click on that, and today it's given me a score of 76. Now what they say with Oura is anything kind of below 85 means that your body hasn't recovered very well. And to be honest, yesterday I had a very long training session. I didn't sleep so well last night. So it's given me a score of 76, and it's actually saying, it says, how are you feeling? Something is challenging your recovery, but your overall readiness is good. Let your body be your guide today. And what's good about this is that it gives you a bit of information about that readiness score, which is calculated from HRV, my sleep, and my training the day before. And then it gives me information such as my sleep data, so I slept for 8 hours, and all of these things you can click on to get more information. So for example, if I click on my sleep, you can see it gives me data about my sleep, and then what I like to do is I like to know more about my sleep, so then I can click on that even more and go into a bit more detail, and it gives me lots of more information, including things like my deep sleep. Now if you see there, notice everything's in blue, but my deep sleep isn't very good, and it says my deep sleep is 42 minutes. So as I mentioned earlier, deep sleep is really important in regards to things like recovery, hormone generation, liver detoxification, all that kind of stuff. So the fact that I didn't sleep very well and I went to bed quite late last night has kind of given me a lower score. So today I'm going to take it easy. I might do a little bit of a light run, I might do some yoga and some stretching. And then also it gives you information such as it gives you data about when you woke up and when you went to REM sleep and deep sleep, and gives you little charts. So it's very informative. It tells you about your heart rate as well, and it's very accurate. Because this is so close to the surface of your skin, it's measuring your body temperature and it's measuring other factors like movement and your pulse rate, much more accurate than something like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. So it gives you lots of good data, and that's just some of the data that it gives you. You can also input into this, so there's an area that says on here, you can see you've got things like readiness, sleep, activity. So if I go back to the home screen, you can see on here that I can click on home, and then I can go into here and I can add a note, I can add an activity, so I can put in there, strength train for an hour or whatever whatever I do each day. I can input that information as well. So it's very good at inputting information. It also gives you calorie consumption if you're interested in that. I'm not too bothered about calorie consumption, but for today you can see at the moment I've burned 45 calories. Obviously it's kind of fairly early in the morning at the moment, and my goal is 400 calories. And again, that's based on information I have put into the ring itself or into the application about my age and my weight and so on and so forth, and it calculates that calorie as well. So it gives you that calorie output if that's something you're after. As I say, I use it predominantly for my recovery and for sleep. So what I like about the ring is the fact that the charge lasts for about 5 days. It charges really easy. It's got this little cradle that you get with it with your USB cable at the end of it. So simply how this charges is basically the application will tell you when your ring needs charging, so it pops up on the screen, and then you simply stick the actual ring onto the cradle like that, and a little light will come on to say that it's charging, and once it's charged you actually get a notification to your phone to say that the ring's charged. And it takes around about an hour to charge it on full charge, which lasts for about 5 days. So I think that's brilliant, the fact it's so simple to charge and it lasts for such a long time. I love the fact that you don't notice you're wearing it. It's very easy to just have on your hand. You can forget about it, and it's very, you can just go to sleep and you don't have to worry about it. Whereas having a watch or something else, it might irritate your skin and you might notice that a bit more. I also like the fact that you can wear it all the time. Now, they don't recommend wearing this when you're doing things like strength training. So if you're lifting heavy weights or anything with metal, you don't want to wear this. It's made of titanium, so it's incredibly light and it is very strong, but you'll still damage it or you can scratch the surface if you're doing heavy weight training. But other than that, I wear it all the time unless I am doing stuff like strength training. So that's all the advantages. The application I also really like as well. The application is very easy to use. It gives you lots of good information, and the fact that I can wake up in the morning, simply switch it on, it Bluetooth connects, and I get that information straight away, giving me this readiness score, so I can then go, okay, I know what I should be doing today. I should take it easy, I should recover. That is very useful information. Now, I'm a holistic health coach, so one of the things I help people with is things like recovery, strength training and all that kind of good stuff, and nutrition. And I always recommend getting something like this to my clients that struggle to be present in their body, to know what they should be doing with their body, because often, and I'm a typical person that pushes myself all the time. So about 8 years ago I used to struggle with insomnia, and that was a real problem for me because I used to love going to the gym. I had a stressful job, but I couldn't sleep, so my body was never in a very recovered state. But when you're someone like me who kind of likes pushing themselves, you kind of keep going and keep pushing yourself. So something like this is really good because it's a bit like having a coach that's telling you, you know what, take it easy today, don't do too much, just take it steady. Or actually, you've slept really well, you've recovered really well, why don't you go and push yourself a little bit harder at the gym? So I really like it for that reason, because it gives me that insight that I may not have, or I may not be kind of tapped into internally within my body. So it's very good for information like that. And it's also just very good for, managing yourself on a daily basis. So, just rather than just, simply mindlessly going and doing stuff, because this is tracking the information, you can see it tells you things like you need to get up and move. You know, like if you've been sat down for a long time, it will give you a little bit of insight to say, you know, you need to get up and maybe do some movement. So I like that as well. So when you've been sitting and you're focusing at work and concentrating, and you've been maybe sat there for an hour, the ring will remind you that you need to get up and do some movement, which is also very, very useful. So it's very, very good for people that struggle with that kind of information and not very good at, you know, making sure they're motivated enough in the right ways. And that's what I really like about this ring as well. So that's kind of an overview in a nutshell of what the ring does. I said it's around about the £300 mark, so it's not cheap. It's probably more expensive than some of the other devices out there, but if you want something that's very long term, it's going to last you a long time and gives you very good, accurate information, I think this is an incredibly good device. And I said I found it very, very useful in the time I've been using it. And this is the second generation of this ring. There was a first generation, so you can get cheaper versions on eBay if cost is a problem, and they're still very good rings. But this new version is a lot smaller. It's got a better footprint. It's stronger. It's got more information available to it, and the battery lasts longer. So I do recommend, if you can get this version, it's a good version to get. As always, if you've got any questions that you want to ask me, I shall do my best to answer them. I don't want to keep this video too long, but I said have a look at the Oura website for more information. Have a look into things like HRV. And what I'm going to do moving forward, guys, is some more video on health and well-being. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to title the videos with health at the beginning, and so that, you know, if you're not interested in health and well-being, you can simply ignore them. But if you've got any questions on health and well-being, as I said, I'm a holistic health coach. I love to help people, and if there's something out there that you're having a problem with or you'd like to know more information about, just simply drop me a comment in the comments below, and when I've got time I'll always have a look through those and I'll answer your comments or do a video if enough people have got questions on that, and I'll do my best to answer them. Hope you have a great day, guys. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll catch you soon on the next video.